What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Today, on the table in front of us are two new knives from Monterey Bay Knives. These, well, they're both the Sprocket in two different forms, and I am really excited to have these on the channel. Now, to be fair, they had these at Blade Show West, and they flew completely under my radar, and that was my mistake. They shouldn't have. Recently, we visited Carmel Cutlery. We ran into Sanford. He was nice enough to loan these to us for review. So these have come directly from them. That does not interfere with my review process at all because I really like them. So that helps. These are Gerry McGinnis designs that are faithfully reproduced by a production company. So this is essentially a custom knife made by a large manufacturer, and they have done a spectacular job. As you can see, you get two versions here. There is the all titanium version, and there is the carbon fiber show side version. Now, they're about an ounce different in weight. This one is 3.7 and this one is 4.5 ounces. I like the titanium weight a little more. What do you get? Well, you get 3.5 inches of 4mm thick M390. You get 3 inches of cutting surface. As you can see, there is a bit of a recurve to these blades. And that, there was a time when that was a problem for me, but I have really come to appreciate what a recurve can do for you if you can keep them sharp, and I've learned how, when it comes to particularly things like push cuts and draw cuts, because that little bit of recurve allows the material to stay much more centered in the blade. These are running on bearings. Both of them have steel lock bar inserts on the lock side. There is some marvelous jimping along the lock side on both sides that mean your thumb hooks up very nicely. One-handed operation for these is exceptionally easy. The action on these is so good. These things fire out of there like they are serious about it, and the detent is tuned beautifully. I cannot shake this thing loose. And it pops out with authority every single time, both carbon fiber and titanium models. Let's take a look at the carbon fiber one here for overall measurements. We'll come back to the tie version in a minute. You get, as I said, 1, 2, 3 full inches of cutting surface on 3.5 inches of 4mm thick M390. The overall knife, if we can get that lined up straight, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a little over 7 3/4, just shy of 8 inches long. It is a beautiful length for EDC. It is very light, so it fits in the pocket exceptionally well. McGinnis has a style when it comes to pocket clips. As you can see, it flares a little here, but that's mostly for style's sake. But the ramp and the spring on these things is beautiful. They fit in the pocket super well. They are just at a 1/2 inch thick through the handle. Let's see if we can do that in a way where you can see it comfortably. There we go. As you can see, we're right at a 1/2 inch. And that means that they are very narrow and well thought out in the pocket. They fit exceptionally well. I like the tie version a little better. I like the sounds that it makes. The carbon fiber model is a little more muted, both on open and on close. Some people are really going to enjoy that. I prefer the snap of the tie version. How much do I enjoy it? Well, we borrowed both of these, but only this one is going home. Once I had this thing in my little hands, okay, they're not little, but you get what I'm saying, had a chance to carry it and play with it, I realized that there was no way I was sending this back to its parents. This one is mine. That doesn't happen a lot. We get a fair amount of knives through the pass-around group and from other sources to review and check out. And while I enjoy them, very rarely do I get one in my hands and say, oh, nope, that one's staying. This one is absolutely staying in the collection. It is a wonderful knife. Both of them are fantastic. Now, Monterey Bay Knives, well, they put a lot of thought and energy and effort into their knives. As you know, Monterey Bay Knives is Sanford and Ray Laconico. This is not, as I said, this is a Gerry McGinnis design. But they're not going to put their brand on anything, as far as I can see, that isn't spectacular. And so far, that has absolutely been the case and the truth. Now, some people aren't going to like the holes. I get that. I don't mind. I think that it does marvelous weight reduction, and I think it adds a little style to the knife in a really nice way. There is the swell right here is perfect for me. I mean, it just, look, I get it. I'm a fan. And you don't have to be. But I'm telling you, and these are about $225. Now, that is not an insignificant amount of money. That is true. But they're at the same price point as most Kaisers, a number of Wies. They're at the same price point as a lot of high-end production knives. And I have a lot of those high-end production knives. And I'm here to tell you that at this price point, this is one hell of a pocket knife. The swedge across the tip is just beautiful. Now, they, in their advertisement for this, say it's a little more harder use. And I get that than the EZC or the ECW for sure. But it is still a mid-size and lightweight knife, which means that while it is harder use than their other production knives, it's not really hard use. It's just a little bigger and a little tougher than some of their other knives. So let's do a size comparison, if we can. Where did my tools go? Oh, here they are. Sorry about that. So let's put this up against the Rat Model 2, and as you can see, it is considerably larger than the Rat Model 2. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way for now. Here is the Rat Model 1, which qualifies as a big knife. No matter how you look at it, this is a large pocket knife. And as you can see, the Sprocket just fits beautifully in the middle of these two. This one is too small for me. This one is not too big, but it is a large knife. And so if you are looking for a mid-size, lightweight user that happens to be exceptionally beautiful, the Monterey Bay Knives Sprocket is a great way to go. Now, it has excellent jimping on the flipper. And yes, this is a big flipper. But this is, again, a faithful reproduction of a custom. This is how McGinnis does it. This is how it looks on this knife. It's just that simple. The jimping on the flipper is perfect. It's got a little bit of bite to it. It allows for you to light switch it. You can push button it, although it is much more of a light switch knife because the detent is nice and firm. The one place where I don't quite dig it a little bit is the jimping follows all the way around. You can see it comes all the way up. I don't know how well that's going to come on camera. There we go. It is for your thumb, but it's a little soft. Don't get me wrong. If I push my thumb into it and dig, it doesn't slip off. But I think this could be a little more aggressively jimped if it's going to be that way. Frankly, when I hold it, I put my thumb beyond that anyway, down into this sort of shape right here. And that is perfect for push cuts. It really is. So what's the final analysis? These are two exceptionally well-made higher-end knives from an excellent company. Monterey Bay Knives continues to produce knives that are fun to own, attractive to look at, and just generally beautiful. These absolutely fall into that category, and you get to have the aesthetic of a really interesting custom knife maker. These McGinnis designs are some of my favorites that I've seen in the last 6 or 8 months. And you guys know I have a lot of knives, so that's a lot of knife time. Anyway, I really enjoy these. I'm keeping this one. This one will eventually go back to its parents. So if you're interested, you can get any one of these, or both, if you're into that sort of thing, at any time. Don't let this one pass you by. The materials are excellent. Again, this is really slicey. Considering they started at 4 millimeters, this is a really good grind. Anyway, these are interesting and beautiful knives. I'm glad to own one. I'm super glad to have had a chance to look at both of them for the channel. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions about the Monterey Bay Knives Sprocket or any of my knives, feel free to ask down in the comments below. Also, over on this side, there's that little like button. If you could hit that on your way out, I'd really appreciate it because it does help the channel. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.